Hey guys, how's it going? It's Jared here with Razel's Revenge Gaming. I'm coming to you with a weekly video. There's not really a whole bunch that I could find that was worthwhile mentioning news-wise. Also, the new setup, it's still kind of temporary. This thing I'm giving another shot just merely because when I did the 3 test recordings before this, it actually picked up my voice, it didn't sound terrible, and so forth and so forth. The webcam, I'm going to readjust and everything a little bit later because I don't like the angle, but I need to at least put out a video and get it out there because I got something to go do at 6, which is like 3 hours from now. I know, fucking yay. But anywho, yeah, just let me know what you think about the setup. I'm going to get more lights and shit. So, anyways, on to the news. I know it looks like I'm looking down like this, but I'm really not. Kind of looking forward. The shit's all messed up, and like I said, I just wanted to put out a fucking video. So here we go. I'm going to touch on these 4 little things, and then I'm going to give the opinion that I have with the current bullshit with all the wonderful sexual fucking assault allegations and everything that we got going on with like the Destiny community and poor old Angry Joe, and possibly even the doc. No formal shit on that, pure speculation. But Jesus, dude, it's got to be something serious if we don't know nothing now, and it's been like what 2 or 3 days since he was banned. So, anywho, hitting the news shit real quick. Like I said, not a lot. Hitman 3 is going to be available in January of 2021, so look forward to that. Animal Crossing New Horizons is adding diving and swimming in their Wave 1 update, which comes out on July the 3rd. And there's a second wave coming in August, but no one knows much about that, so I'll probably do another update on Wave 2 when there's more to come. Um, Two biggest ones that I found was that Facebook has bought Ready at Dawn, and they're making them part of the Oculus Studio team, so they're going to make them basically just yeah, part of the Oculus team to work on future VR projects and all that good shit. So seems pretty cool. I got nothing against that. VR has taken major steps. It's no longer as crappy as it was, at least on well, crappy is probably a bad word, but you know what I mean. Um, like with it's come a long way. The PlayStation 5 VR is going to be leaps and bounds better than what we saw with the PS4, which after a while, after updates and everything, wasn't terrible on console either. But most good shit is on PC, so it's getting better and better all the time. So it's kind of cool to see a really good dev going towards the VR route. So we'll see what the fuck happens. Last but not least, Capcom keeps renewing, or they did renew, the trademark for Deep Down. Deep Down was supposed to be a free-to-play PS4 launch title that it supposedly got canceled, but it's not really canceled. I mean, it was basically a finished fucking game, and they just decided to not put it out. So, curious. And if you don't remember what the hell Deep Dawn was, it was like a dungeon crawler that was supposed to play like a mixture of Dragon's Dogma and Dark Souls, which that in and of itself is pretty damn interesting. So, curious to see if they do anything in like this upcoming generation of consoles, because they renewed the trademark, so that means they see something there, and I'd like to see what that something is. So that's all I got. I'm gonna try to keep this video in like the 15-minute mark, maybe 20, depends. So, um, yeah, the weird noises is me running around on the chair. I'm not, blasting ass. So, yeah, okay, touchy subject, and not a popular opinion that I hold on it, because I believe it takes two to. I don't really want to say tango, but I think it takes two to get the ball rolling. Um, First and foremost, these allegations that have come up, and if they are true, then the guys that have done this shit, they need to be beaten. Like, just dragged out into the street, beaten, and left to see if they survive or not. Guys that do this are the lowest fucking, like, life form, if you even want to call them that, on this planet. Almost, almost as bad as fucking pedophiles, dude. Um, Anyone who takes advantage of anyone to get their fucking dick wet, just, they need to have their dick put on a fucking anvil and have someone just smash that bitch with a fucking sledgehammer and call it a fucking day. Now, for the women, while I believe every accusation needs to be taken serious, needs to be investigated, like thoroughly fucking investigated, ladies, there's some shit that you need to understand and take it from a guy who has grown up with a shit ton of female friends. Um, I'm well aware of the fuckery that fuckboys can and will do. So, coming from a dude, let me give you some advice about what the fuck to look for and how to avoid it. Because I know everyone is supposed to be like, well, it's not supposed to be like this, and you're right, it's not, but it is, merely because this type of lifestyle, I guess, e-fame, whatever the fuck you want to call it, brings out the narcissistic, sociopathic assholes fucking out of the woodwork. So you gotta be on your toes, regardless, male or female, be on your goddamn toes. So, without further notice, or further ado, whatever the fuck, here it goes. Ladies, if you're starstruck, that is fucking red flag number one. If you're starstruck and you're trying to interact with someone, don't go off on your first fucking inclination, because your first fucking inclination is going to be do whatever they want. No, don't. Listen to your gut. Secondly, if, like in the story that was told about Angry Joe and all that, if that was legit, I haven't really looked lately because it fucking. Anyways, supposedly, he took her away from her friend and dragged her all over the place and so forth and so forth. The first time that the dude or woman, whatever, this is interchangeable. The first time that they lay their hand on you to try and get you away from someone, you stop dead in your fucking tracks and you don't fucking go. That is also a red flag. If they're trying to separate you from your group, no. That's exactly what any fucking predator does out in the wild. They will separate the weakest link and eat it. So, that's, yeah, being starstruck and them separating you, those are the two biggest fucking things you need to be aware of. And you need to just not do it. I don't give a fuck who they are. If they have, 30 million followers on YouTube or whatever and it could end your fucking career, stop. Don't do whatever the fuck they want you to do with just you and them. Which is amazing, because I'm sure we've all gotten the talk, or should have gotten the talk, about, when you were a kid, if anyone tries to take you, yell, scream, stomp, pee on them, bite them, make a fucking scene, so forth and so forth. Now, I know that that seems drastic, but could you imagine in the middle of a fucking convention or something, this high status streamer guy and this low status streamer chick or whatever, like I said, they're interchangeable. She's starstruck. Oh my god, it's you, you're talking to me. And things progress. Could you imagine that what would happen if at the first sign of one of the two red flags I just told you about, well, especially the second one with them trying to separate you from the group, them grabbing you, trying to pull you away, whatever. Could you imagine what would happen if they would just not go, slap their hand away, slap them in the face, yell, scream, all that shit, tell them that, you know, I don't want to go. No. I mean, how awesome would it be to see that shit happen just in the middle of a fucking convention? Like, just right dead stop a scene between, like, we'll say male and female, how much of a deterrent it would be for those fucking predator assholes to try and do something like that in the future. I mean, not to mention that, like, if it got even worse than that, like if someone from the crowd busted the guy's nose for trying to be a fucking creep or something. The only reason why this shit keeps happening, aside from the lifestyle bringing out the narcissistic assholes and so forth, is that nobody does anything to these assholes until 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 years later, so forth and so forth, when it just all of a sudden seems convenient to talk about it. You're going to hate me for saying that too, I get it, but we all know more or less what I'm talking about. Like, if you don't call these people out right off the dick, you're letting them know that it's okay, that they can get away with this shit because they are who they are. And fuck that. Like, it should be like Jesus himself could come down from the heavens or whatever and try to, like, I don't know, do something fucked up to, if you're a family man, your family or whatever. It shouldn't matter who the fuck it is. If they're doing something wrong, they need to be set right, and that could be a simple fucking, hey, you need to stop this shit, or someone rearranging their face to prove a point that it's not okay. But something needs to be done in the future with anyone. I don't give a fuck, male, female, deer, antelope, fucking tree. I don't care. If no one tries to make a public scene about this shit, in the next couple of conventions or whatever, I don't know how COVID's going to affect everything, but still, if no one makes a scene, if no one raises a big fucking shit, like, right when it happens, like, or maybe even, like, let's say you do have the balls and you do go out with them to, like, a bar or something and they take your fucking phone and all that shit. It's like, nah, dude, you don't have to go into the fucking bar. You can throw a fit right there on the fucking sidewalk and leave. Because if you throw a fit, if you bring negative attention towards them in any way, shape, form, or fashion, that is actually way more harmful to them, like, than probably rearranging their face. But that's my personal fucking go-to way of wanting to deal with assholes like that. But if you bring attention to them, if you call them out right then and there, and if people, I guess I want to say, like, blacklist them automatically right there, or it's like, strike one, like, hey, that dude's someone you need to look out for. I think we'd see a safer environment because it would make them think twice about just grabbing someone and pulling them away from their friend, or talking to someone in a specific way just simply because they are who they are. You shouldn't be that fucking starstruck over someone who, at the end of the day, farts and shits just like everybody else. I mean, if you want me to get nasty about it, that's pretty much it. Not calling these people out right off the dick is part of the reason why they continue doing what they're doing. And calling them out after the fact, while it's going to harm them regardless, and especially if it's legit, yeah, it's going to like end them. But wouldn't you rather do it before they get to where they are, or get any more famous so they don't do it to anyone else, or they have a way harder time doing it to anyone else? It seems to me that we would want to know who these people are so we can all keep an eye on them. And while I know there's speculations, well, not even really speculations, there's evidence of like esports teams and all that shit, covering up for high profile players and everything. But like, maybe that person just wasn't called out correctly or whatever, dude. And I'm not saying that it's a foolproof way to do it, but like the minute something is fishy, the minute something doesn't feel right, the minute you feel uncomfortable dealing with these people, with the interactions or anything like that, like if they just fucking randomly send a dick pic or whatever, you need to do something then. Like right then, you need to do something. If they are an esports person, fucking get in contact with their damn organization, their PR people, whatever, and just be like, hey, this dude's an asshole. And, keep your screenshots and all that shit, of course, but they need to be called out right off the bat. Um, and, like, that's really about the only way that I can see anything getting any better, to be honest with you, is if shit happens instantaneously, not years after the fact. Because years after the fact, that asshole could have done it to many more individuals. And it's not cool, man. It's just not. And I know I'm kind of rambling because it's a touchy subject, and I'm not wanting to like victim blame and all that bullshit. Even though it might seem like I'm going that way, I'm really not. It's just I don't understand how you can let something like that get to that point. Like, if they're like, okay, let's say you ignore the first two fucking red flags and you end up going to the bar with them and they start taking selfies of you being all happy and shit next to them, and then you go to a hotel room with them or whatever, and then they start taking selfies of you being all happy and shit there. Like, dude, that's like documentation almost of, see, this person was happy, they were willingly in this spot with me at this time, I didn't force them to go anywhere, look at that smile. I just, it's mind-boggling, dude. um I know you're probably thinking that's career ending. Maybe not, dude. Like, it really all depends on you as a person. If you're willing to play that game and compromise your fucking morals and all that shit just to make partner or whatever, then, you know, you're also a special kind of sleazeball. Like, for real. If you're not willing to stand up for yourself until it's convenient, then what the fuck kind of person are you? Like, you shouldn't want anyone else to suffer through what you supposedly suffered through or experienced. Call them out right off the dick. Like, for real. You've also got a phone. Take pictures yourself. Hit the fucking record button and put it in your pocket so there's audio, something, if you feel like shit's gonna go downhill, but you still go out with them. I mean, it's shitty, man, that anyone is like that. And it seems that everyone has taken away like the personal responsibility aspect of life on both fucking spectrums of that, dude. If you're willing to do that to someone just because you are who you are, you should be made to bite the fucking curb. On the flip side, if you're willing to put yourself through that shit just to further your career and then come out years later when you have the following, when you have the clout or whatever, to come out and say something because you feel like maybe now you're a force to be reckoned with this person, you're you're shitty too, man. Because once you come out, 9 times out of 10, there's at least one or two other people that come out and say, yeah, this person did something too. Imagine if you had come out when shit happened and just went after them, tried to smear their name, all that. I know people can get you for slander and everything, but if you have recordings and everything or whatever, I mean, everybody and their brother knows that even if a sexual assault or whatever harassment allegation turns out to be like fake and not legit, it doesn't matter who it is, that person is forever tarnished. So, if your claim is legit and all that stuff, just come out and say it right when it happens. There's there's no need for everything that's going on right now to be going on the way that it's going on. I I guess that's really about it. Um I've rambled enough about this, and I know I'm going to get a shit ton of hate for it. Um just because it's a touchy subject, and like I said, it sounds like I'm victim blaming, but I'm really not. It's just shit that you should look out for and shit that you should do in response to the flags, man. You always have a choice, and you can always say no. You can throw a fit like a 5-year-old. And yeah, I know it sounds terrible because you're probably picturing in your mind of like some grown ass motherfucker screaming in the middle of a convention or whatever, and a nobody screaming at a somebody and all that shit. But we all know that the drawing attention to that alone would be enough to get the ball rolling on stopping that person from doing shit like that in the future. But yeah, anyways, um, I'm done. I I'll talk to you guys later. Hopefully next week there will be more news and everything. And if this sucks, then I'll just use the webcam shit next week. So, anyways, guys, have a good one. Don't forget to fucking like, subscribe, all that shit. Follow me. Links and everything will be in the comment section below. And I hope you guys have a good one.